looks like Teams allows you to install chatbots. What is that about?
So when Teams came out, it's 2017, and chatbots were all the rage with a lot of different software, including Slack, which is what Teams is kind of loosely based off of. And so Teams does have the ability to add chatbots as a special type of app. In fact, when Teams first came out, there was a special chatbot called Tbot that was automatically installed. That was the Teams bot, and it was Tbot's job to basically answer a question about Teams. So if you weren't sure how to use something, you could ask Tbot and he would respond. Microsoft has killed off Tbot, much like they killed off Clippy years ago. But let me show you what they do have as far as chatbots that are available. Most of the chatbots that are available now come from other providers, including bigger brains. So let's take a look. So to add a chatbot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the store icon. And inside the store, we'll talk about this more in another module, but you can see we have a category called bots. So if I come here to the bots, all of these are different apps that either are a chatbot or have a chatbot option. Some of them can either be a chatbot or a tab or both. So let's look at a couple of these. Now you can look at all the descriptions and decide, which ones are worth trying out. Most of these are free. A lot of them are at least free to try. So there's no harm in installing them, trying it, and see what you think. Let me show you some of my favorites though. So for starters, there's one called Disco, and I'm just going to do a search for Disco. Disco used to be called Growbot, and this is a neat little chatbot that lets you track social capital. And what I mean by that is it lets you congratulate other people on their hard work. You can give them kudos, attaboys, that sort of thing. What we're going to do is, in order to install it, we have to install it to a team. So let's put it in our Awesome Video Project team. So Disco's now been added to the Awesome Video Project team. We have to pick a channel where we want to use it. And we only have 2 channels in that team right now, so I'll choose the general channel. And we can set up the features that we want. So what Disco is showing us is the different things that we can do with Disco, formerly known as Growbot. So you can give kudos to colleagues, you can check the leaderboard to see who has the most kudos, you can see more about your company's values, and you can ask for help. So the way this would work is you, in a conversation or in a chat, you would talk to Disco and tell it what you want to do. So for example, I think you did a great job of setting up the Awesome Video Project. So I'm going to say, Disco, send kudos to Alrinthia.
Why, thank you.
And so you can see a couple things happen. You got a notification on your computer. Also here we got a notification because Disco replied and gave 1 star point to Alrinthia. So at this point I could ask Disco how our leaderboard is going. Hey Disco, leaderboard. And so far, for the last 30 days, 1 person has 1 kudos, and that's you. So you're very clearly in the lead. Now, I could also say, send 3 kudos to Aaron. Now, I didn't include Disco, so that's not going to go anywhere. What I have to type is I have to include the Disco bot. And mention the person that I'm sending to. And even though I said to give 3 kudos, it still just gave 1. So you can't game the system by giving somebody 1,000 kudos all at once. So that's kind of a neat system. And then again, I can ask for the leaderboard.
Now, is there a dollar value for a point?
Well, that's all dependent on your company culture. What some companies will do is they'll say, hey, the person who gets the most kudos this month gets a free pizza party or gets a free coupon for a nice dinner outside or whatever. So it's a way that you can kind of make that fun, involve everybody in it, and make it more democratic by involving everybody in the team in deciding who's doing the most work, who's most deserving of appreciation. So that's just a little project, but Disco is really great at that. There's some other things it'll do as far as company values. You can read more about that. Another one that I like is Hipmunk, and I've added that actually to my chat. So if I come up here to my chat, you'll see I have a Hipmunk option. I can see I got a card from Disco, which has the help system in it. In Hipmunk, I can ask travel questions. So I can say, hotels in Washington, D.C., May 22 to May 25. And we get a friendly little response. I hope you love delightful hotels because I'm finding you options for Washington, D.C. from May 22 to 25. And it'll come back with a list of hotel options for those dates. Whether or not it's easier to do this through a chatbot or a website is a matter of debate. There are some things that are easier to type out in a chatbot kind of a format. So if I have specific requirements or specific dates or specific locations, it might be easier to type that to a chatbot rather than trying to find all the selections on a website. So it's a place where a chatbot might be a good option. So you can see Hipmunk's come back with this recommendation for a hotel, and I have buttons I can click to see the details, see more hotels. I can also search for flights. And if I want to go ahead and book this hotel, I can click on See Hotel Details. It'll open it in a web browser and I can go look and see. Now, a chatbot that we're particularly fond of is BrainBot, and that's a chatbot that we made here to work with our training courses. So with BrainBot, what it'll do is when you finish a training course, you can set up BrainBot to help you remember the things that you learned. So for example, if you take a course on time management, or a course on staying safe online, or a course on using Microsoft Teams, then you can talk to BrainBot. So I can type add booster. It'll ask which boost I want to search for. Maybe I know I just took the staying safe online course. And it's asking if I want to subscribe to that, and I'll say yes. And now I'll start getting a series of questions called boosters about once a day, periodically over a course of about 60 days, that'll help me remember what I learned in that Staying Safe online course. So the nice thing about BrainBot or Hipmunk or Disco or any of these kind of chatbots is that you're able to interact with them in the same tool that you're in every day. So if I'm doing most of my work, most of my communication, most of my collaboration, all from inside Teams, then this is an easy way for me to interact with an outside service, whether it's a travel agency, a training service, or just a recognition service like Disco to provide kudos to my colleagues, all without leaving the applications. You can do all of that right from inside Microsoft Teams.
That's really cool.